Greetings, everybody. So, we continue with our series of how the past hinders from progressing, and I would like to entitle this one as Life on Training. Life on Training, doing life on training. Everything that we learn, everything that we all know now, and who we are, is something that we have learned. So, whether you know this or you don't, it's who you are because of everything that you have learned. You are the sum total of all the things that you have learned today. So you were born not knowing anything. So the language that you speak, you learned it. So if you are born in China, you are going to be speaking Chinese. But you are not born in China. You are born where you are. So the language that you speak is something that you picked up. And all the languages that you are able to speak are because you are exposed in that environment and you've learned them. So, and the habits that you've picked up, the behaviors that you've picked up, everything was learned in your childhood. So, when you say, I am the way that I am, all you are saying is that you are limiting yourself to the things that you have learned, and you've summed up everything that you have learned as who you are. When that is not the case, that is not who you are. These are the things that have shaped who you are. But each one of us comes at a point in life where now those things that were just brought to us, we need to question, is this the path that I want to continue moving on? Or I would like to change the trajectory of my life. I'll give you two examples. I'll give you first one example is two brothers born in the same house. Father is a drunkard, extremely drunkard. One makes a choice and becomes a drunkard, times two the father. And the other one becomes really successful. And then these two people are asked a question: why did you end up like this? The first one says, what do you expect? My father was a drunkard. The second one, what do you expect? My father was a drunkard. Same answer but different results. And this is usually that what happens to us. There comes a time where you will need to make a choice. You see, okay, I was not born in a well-to-do family. I can't read, I can't write, I can't speak well, I can't articulate myself well. I'm shy. You can mention all the negative aspects. I get angry fast. I am anxious. I'm depressed, and all those things you can bring them to light, and then you will now have a choice. Do you want to continue living like that, or you would want to make a choice that will actually profit you, that will actually benefit you, and not will only benefit you but benefit even those within your influence, your sphere of influence? Because whether we like it or not, there comes a time where each individual has the right to choose their trajectory of life. The second example that I find really extremely big, interesting, and I think I will need to do a paper on this one, just to research and just trying to understand the minds of people, like what goes on in the minds of people, is someone can come right now with a contract of a job that I have no experience in, that I didn't even go to school for. So I don't know anything about that job, and yet because it is a job, I'll quickly sign it and go into that job knowing nothing. So I don't even know the uniform of that company, the dress code, the language, nothing. I know nothing about that company, but yet because it's a contract that has been given to me, I'll just sign it quickly. And then they tell me, okay, report on Monday. I will go there, dressed in the best way that I think is possible, only to find that maybe it's a construction company, which is first blunder, meaning I have learned that okay, the next day I'm coming here, I will need to wear something that fits my working environment. So we are willing as a people to do job on training, but as a people, we are not willing to do life on training. So we can take all the risks. We are not even afraid to go into a job that we have no knowledge in. And yet, if they say start a business, we now think of every reason why our business will not work. We'll think of every fear that is there. We'll try to look at examples of people that have failed and how their businesses have not gone anywhere. We will look at how the economy is, we'll look at how the country is, and we will try to find every reason not to do the entrepreneurship in training. And yet when it comes to job on training, we are more than willing to do that. And that is something that I find interesting, and I would like to understand the psychology behind that. But that is not the purpose of this video. But this just shows you that as a man, we are selective in what we want and what we don't want. So if your life is in a place where you don't want, it is your choice to continue living like that or to make something out of your life. It is hard, yes, but it is not impossible. You come from a place where people don't believe in you or people have expectations of you. But the truth is, you have the total responsibility for your life. No one is going to make those choices for you anymore. Because even people will start saying, you have grown now, you need to make better choices for your life. You need to make better choices for your life, because they understand that that stage where decisions were made for you has passed, and now you have reached a stage, or you will reach a stage where decisions will have to be made by you, and you have to bear the consequences of those decisions, whether good or bad. But let us embrace this mindset that most people have when going into a job where they have no knowledge of. Let us also embrace that mindset and take it to other things, other ventures, other like our dreams, the things that we want to do, things that we are passionate about. Because most of the time as people, we are just doing things that we have found, that society has said, okay, this is where the money is. But the world has changed now, and as Africa, we need to go and like to diversify our skills. We need to diversify our talents. We need to diversify where the money is coming from. And we must not only look at employment, but we have talents, we have gifts, and all these things can be things that we can use to bring in money. If we go in with the same mindset that we go into a job, I can guarantee you today that if someone gives you a contract to a job that you have no knowledge of, you're going to accept it, and you're going to go there, and you're going to do everything in your power to learn about that job and become good at it. But yet, if someone comes to you and says, hey, let's start a business, you could give every reason as to why that business may not work. I'm trying to understand the psychology of what really happens in the minds of people. So I don't know if it is the security that comes with a job and the uncertainty that comes with entrepreneurship. But like I said, everything is learned. And you will not get it right the first time that you report for work. It will take even months for you to actually just grasp how everything works in that company. It is the same thing with entrepreneurship. You know that if you make certain risks, they will impact your business really extremely negatively. And you will know that you will learn. And as you continue to learn, you will become better, because each lesson makes you better. Each lesson makes you wiser. Each lesson makes you a better entrepreneur. I have made so many investments in the past 2 years right now, some that I really regret, because I'm like, okay, that was really dumb for me to make such a decision. And because in a way, maybe I wanted, in a way I had that mindset of little capital but yet abnormal profits, and they failed. I started a few ventures and they all failed, but they all taught me lessons to a point where when I started my business, I understand what I need to do, the systems that I need to put in place for me to grow. I understand what I need to do. I understand now that I need to separate myself from the business, because before I didn't, and I didn't separate myself from the business. Then, or what the business made, I ate. What the money that came from the small businesses that I was running, it became part of my income. Not knowing that that was suffocating my business, and if I want to grow, the money that the business, I must separate myself from the business. So the money for the business is for the business, but I had to learn that because I engaged into it. Someone can tell you, but there are certain lessons that must be experienced personally. There are certain decisions that you must personally make. There are certain mistakes that you must personally make. Understand that the wise learn from the mistakes of others, but the wise, they learn from also their own mistakes and improve and better themselves. So let us embrace that mindset of how do we go to a job? Because I can give you an example. Is another example is this one, and really interesting. I write my last paper in college, and a few days later I go back home. 2 weeks later I'm called to go and sign a contract. I sign for a contract, and then I signed it on Saturday. Then on Monday they tell me, okay, you come and report on Monday. I reached there on Monday. There was the sales team was short-staffed, so the moment I reached, we had a lot of vehicles there. I was given an invoice, and my truck was loaded. I didn't know anything, like really did not know anything. So the first day of reporting, without orientation or anything like that, I was on a truck to go and sell. And I mean, I didn't know anything. I couldn't argue or do anything. I just, if I tried to ask, go, and as I was out in the market, number one, I had to start studying the prices. I had to start studying the products. I had whilst on the journey to the market. And luckily enough, there was someone that was helping me there, who was there before, like who had stayed there for a long time. So we were moving, the three of us on the truck, the driver, someone to help me out with the cases and the likes, and myself as a salesperson. And that is a person that began running me through it. So me, who has the paper, who signed the contract, knows nothing, and yet my helpmate is the one that knows how to run the job, and I was learning from my helpmate. And I began learning from him. The next day, I went into the field. I came back with shortages because I didn't know. I came back with shortages. They wrote those shortages down. Went again. I came back with shortages. But the more that I continued going into the field, the less shortages that I encountered, and the more now I realized, the certain shortages that I was having, I could trace where they were coming from. I could trace how those shortages were coming about, and it didn't just happen in a day. No, but it took time. I spent over 3 months where my sales were really bad. The one day, my supervisor comes to me and says, what is wrong with you? You've been here for 3 months and your sales are really bad. Then he had that conversation. We've given you 3 months time, and this time around you should improve. I'm like, okay. I went into the field that day, fired up. I came back. That month, I was among the best sales personnel at that company. From that month to the time that I resigned, I never left, I was always among the top performing sales personnel at that company. So from April to somewhere in November, I was always, and it was nice getting that commission. I'm always reaching the target. But it didn't just I didn't just become the best sales personnel from the word go. No, it had to take some time of learning the system, learning customers, understanding customers, how to win customers, understanding the psychology of customers, understanding my own psychology, because I mean it's hectic being in a sales personnel, waking up every single day, engaging with different customers on a daily basis, trying to convince a customer to buy. It was not an easy journey, but eventually I learned and became one of the best. And when I left as one of the best. Of course, there were other issues, but I left as one of the best. When I quit as one of the best. And I remember the HR during that time calls me, says, "Hey, we need to come here and we need to have a chat in the labs." But I mean, my mind was already made up. I had gone. But what point am I trying to put across is, you won't just become good at this. No. The fact that I'm speaking here confidently here, like speaking to you right now, is not something that I just started and just became confident and say, "Hey, just open your camera and start recording it." I mean, and you have all these ideas and you begin to speak and you articulate yourself well. It is not something that just came by. It took time, like a very long time, until I was fed up with waiting and preparing. Just turned on the mic and voila, we're here. And the more that I did these videos, the more confident that I became about doing these videos and actually speaking to you like I am right now. But it didn't just start out like that. I know that I'm far, extremely far from where I want to be, but I know and confident that as I continue on this path, because I'm not stopping, as I continue on this path, that I will, continue becoming better, that opportunities will begin to come. It might take 3, 4, 5 years. It might take longer than I expect. But if I diligently stay on this path, ensure that I refine my craft, I refine my speaking, I refine my presentation, I refine my equipment, I move from maybe this phone right now that I'm using, I start buying other equipment and make my creating studios, and those ideas just keep popping up, because we learn by doing, we improve by doing. So the more that I do, the more that I know what not to do, the more that I know what not to say, the more that I begin to pick up. So if I want to communicate better with people, I need to be picking stories. So even as I'm moving, I'm looking at, okay, what story can I get? Because there are so many stories that I have that have been buried. But the more that I make these videos, the more these stories are coming to life to suit the kind of video that I'm making. But these things I didn't know. I've only learned by doing. So let's not be scared. I mean, fear is there. Whether it will work out or not, who knows? Will you be successful at this or not? Who knows? But I mean, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So you might as well just try it. You might as well just throw in yourself into that thing. Begin to pursue it. It won't be an easy thing, no. Like, it won't really be easy. I have learned this firsthand, that it's not easy. People don't just come here and start talking. If you really want to create impact, if you really want to change lives, and not for the likes, not for followers, no, but if you truly want to change and impact life, you need to invest a lot of time reading, studying, refining your content, so that when you come here and present, you won't just present nonsense to people, no, but you will present something that someone will resonate with, someone that will spark that desire to change their life. And that is my aim. My aim and my objective in life is to impact life, to impact generations with my speech. I was truly inspired the other day. When I read books by authors a book that was written in as far as 1800s. And this is a book that is inspiring, changing me in 2023. And that is the kind of impact that I wish to leave in this world. Is that 100 years after I am no longer in this world, that someone will pick my book, will watch my video, and their lives be transformed. So it is not just something that you do for likes, no, it is something that you have to believe in. And whether people like or not, you are not making it. You have to understand that even the things that we watch, there are very few things that we watch in real time as they are happening. But most of the things that we watch, most of the things that inspire and change our lives are things that were done a long time ago, but in the past. And those are things that are shaping who we are. Those are things that are shaping our lives. And right now, you're not watching this video in real time. It is a recording that you're watching. But it is something that should and must inspire and change you. It must provoke something in you to change your life. And I believe that God has given me an ability to speak and to change and to transform. Because the words that I speak are life. The words that I speak are spirit. And they give life. This, no one can take away from me. They can take everything away from me, but they will never take my voice. That is why my goal is to ensure that I become the best. Because I mean, there are a lot of people that are doing what I'm doing right now. But what is going to separate the rest is the heart. Many are doing it for the money, many are doing it for the likes, and few are doing it for true impact. If it opens doors, so be it. And if it doesn't, other things will. But as long as I stay true to this, I know that it will create and it will open doors. But this is something that I will never stop till my last breath. I wish you all the best things in life, and I hope that you find something in you that sparks, something in you that makes you feel alive when you begin to do it. That this will inspire you to pursue the things that you want to pursue. That you will not stop, but that you will continue to search. And if you don't know what you are supposed to be doing with your life, just pick something. Just randomly pick something. Remember, we learn by doing. It's life in practice. So when you pick something, you will know as you do it, you will know whether that fits you or it doesn't fit you. And you will begin to change until you find the one thing that ignites a fire within you. And when that thing that causes you to be angry, when you see how maybe people are living lives, when you see how maybe people are presenting themselves, when you see the street kids, when you see the poor, when you see the boys, when you see the girls, that thing that sparks within you begins to ache, and for you to want to do something. That is your thing. Go and do it. Go and pursue it. You don't need permission from anyone to pursue your dream. Being here in this world, alive today, alive as you watch this video, is the permission that you need. So go and pursue. Let's change this world. Let's change this country. Let's not just be people that only complain, but let's provide solutions. Let's do something that will make this country a better country, that will make this continent a better country, a better continent. Ain't you tired of the way things are happening? But if we don't do nothing about it, they will continue being the way that they are, until you and I rise up and realize that we need one another, that you are needed and I'm needed to bring something in this world, to bring a change. We were born in this country for a particular reason. There's a cause that we were born here for, and that we must fulfill. Otherwise, if you don't rise up and I don't rise up, you will affect me and I will affect you. So we must rise up as a people, in our community, in our family, and anywhere that we are, and bring the change in this in our communities and everywhere we go. Let us not waste our youth as young people. Let us not waste our lives. Yes, we have spent lives not doing anything, not knowing, without direction, but we are no longer those people anymore. You know that you have wasted time. What next? You know that you have a problem. What next? Would you continue living in that problem, or you would do something about your problem? You would do something about your problem. You would try to solve it. You would try to study. You would try to speak to someone and try to resolve your issue. I wish you all the best things in life. And watch this space, because we are changing the narrative in this country. We will not just sit back and watch things happen, but we will make them happen. We will impact our generation to begin with and those to come. I'm Chibuye James Mwape.